You think you're thinking big, dude. You ain't thinking very big. You better think bigger. Yep, even bigger. I would say think bigger. I would say read every day. Like start reading, pages of a book every single day. When you're done, get another book. And then I would say, don't worry about everybody else's opinion so much.
I mean, everything is so monetary and right now and get rich quick and things like that. And when I met him, it was like, dude, like build the foundation that you can always fall back on. You can always restart. You can always, get a new group, get a new company, get new things. But like, who are you fundamentally that you always have to fall back on?
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs today in the studio. Folks, I got a real treat for you. Rio Osorio.
Yes, sir.
And we got an extra bonus guest today, the Daniel Giles. Is it Giles?
Yes, sir. Pleasure to be here.
Folks, if you guys want to follow these cats, one's at Rio Osorio, Osorio. The other one's the Daniel Giles on Instagram. You guys can find them there. They are basically the roofing kingpins that have figured out how to sell more solar than solar people through roofs.
Through roofing.
Exactly. Blue ocean.
Interesting. Well, I know I got a lot of solar people that listen up, so I'm saying, okay, let's bring them on and hear what they got to say. You're telling me you go in for the roof because you're an adjuster technically.
Right.
Correct. Licensed public adjuster.
Yeah, licensed public adjuster. And so because you're a public adjuster, you're able to talk turkey and represent the claim with the insurance company.
Right.
So you make sure they don't get all double dipped in buttermilk.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
A roofing company cannot do that. No. So you're not merely a roofing company, but you're also a roofing company.
Correct.
Now, you say that's legal in some states. Is it illegal in some states? Why can't you be an adjuster and a roofer?
I mean, I guess it's basically kind of a conflict of interest.
Can't you own a roofing company and a public adjuster company?
There's
Dude, right now, if I started Bradley's public adjuster company and I hired 30 public adjusters, and that's all we are, public adjusters. And then I also went over there and started, Buildi's roofing. They can't stop me because I'm a public adjuster office to own Buildi's roofing. So now I own Buildi's roofing. We do the same thing in any state. Why?
Because I would definitely say you might have some issues.
Why though?
It's just how the law works.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'll agree.
I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman.
100% agree with you on that. And that's what we're trying to, figure out how we can work around it. But there's definitely some red tape other than in Arizona and Illinois, I believe.
Well, again, because I think people are trying to do both. Don't have one company do both.
Still some red tape there. So technically we are separate entities.
Consult your lawyers, guys.
There definitely are companies that are out there that are doing both. Like we were just out at Win the Storm in Florida. And so they have companies that have trucks that have their license number for their contracting companies. And then they have the license number for their adjusting companies. You go online, like two clicks in and you're going to see it's not legal. So, we try to do the best that we can to make sure that we're on the right side of things so that, when we're sitting with a homeowner, we can have integrity and not get ourselves tied up. We want to do the best thing for them. So putting them in that position.
Isn't that nice?
So I think when you were asking him about like, why can you guys not go to other states and you're a businessman? I think it's the same thing for us. Like as business people, there's a lot of competition in the industry. And he was talking about blue oceans earlier. The biggest thing for us is being able to collaborate with everybody. And when you're looking at the solar industry right now and the tax credit, and you're looking at everybody coming out of the woodwork right now, we want to compress timeframes as much as we possibly can to make sure that people can take advantage of not only the tax credit, but they can also work with somebody that has that license. So if I'm a contractor, I'm a solar company, and I sell the homeowner something, a product, and they can't afford it and they don't have anywhere to go, we want to be the company that they can go to as any contractor in the nation, any solar company in the nation, and they can call us. We don't need to be their contractor. We don't need to be their reps, but we have that license that we can always represent them on the roofing side.
So almost like that sounds like just a way around it.
Yeah. Well, we're not the one holding both entities. So
that's my point.
We can represent you.
Sounds like it's just a sneaky way around it. So how come you can't be a public adjuster and you be the roofer and do the same thing?
We're still technically in business together at the end of the day. So the government's not really going to appreciate that. So just making sure that we're.
What's the difference between a roofer coming to you?
What do you mean? What's the difference between?
Hey, like, we're not that roofer because there's no connection.
I would just say at the end of the day, like if the law says what the law says, you need to honor it. And if you can figure out a way that you can still do and accomplish the same exact thing, but work around that red tape as opposed to being inside of that red tape, then I think it can be advantageous for the contractor and for the customer.
How did y'all discover this?
So Daniel and I about probably about 2.5, 3 years ago met up, and he brought, like he was saying, life insurance, about 50 guys into my warehouse. I had a pretty cool warehouse set up that attracted these guys. They wanted to be there. We started killing it. I mean, we were building a big company pretty fast, and it was probably, I don't know, a year after that, we got hit up by a solar company. They wanted to recruit us, pay us a nice sum of money to bring our whole team out to California. Went out there to do that, and I think that lasted about 4 months, and it just weren't getting paid right. Just certain things were happening. It just wasn't fizzled out. So I already had another a Medicare agency with another partner of mine in Arizona. His main background is door to door in the home services industry. So basically, Daniel and I were like, look, why don't we just head back to Arizona, bring the team, partner up with him, and go from there. So where'd you get this big loyal team that'll follow you around the country? You can ask this kid that.
Yeah, I got dubbed I don't even know. Basically, I collect lost souls. And so my whole thing since I was like 18, because I kind of fell off the boat early and had to figure it out, is once I started to get success and once I started to find mentorship, I just wanted to bring everybody with me. I was like, my generation, we're so overserved, yet we underserve ourselves. And there's so much opportunity, but no one really takes it and follows through, that leveraging him and leveraging his wisdom and leveraging, what he's already built. I just wanted to latch onto his back and say, take me whichever direction you go, and I'm going to bring the masses with me. Let's change as many lives as we possibly can. And I think that people can sense that. I mean, there's kind of a lack of authenticity with people in this industry, especially in sales. It's a dog eat dog world. So everyone wants to be the shark, but being able to really care about your people, you have the ability to be flexible. And when your business needs to pivot, you can pivot, and having those people behind you, that's the most valuable thing for us. We can always change industries. Things are always going to run out. Things are always going to change, but it's about the people that you have with you.
And we did a lot to take care of them. I mean, we put them up in housing and, nice housing. And so we made sure we took care of them, and so they'd take care of us. And yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then we started there with the solar. In the beginning, it was 2 separate companies. We were only canvassing for solar, and then we had the public adjusting company as well. And we just noticed, over time, that when they went to the door for the public adjusting for the roof, it was just 100 times easier. They would get in the door way easier, whereas the solar canvassers were getting the doors slammed in their face right and left. So we're like, why don't we put this thing together and make it one? And we're probably about 4 months into this where we're actually doing it, and it's cranking.
And it's funny
gangbusters.
Yeah,
it's funny because solar is like the new sexy thing in sales, and like roofing, it's kind of old, convoluted. People don't want to get into it as much anymore. But I think once we realize, because really the industry is all marketing towards like, hey, big checks in solar, big checks in solar. Contractors, there's 120,000 roofing contractors out there. There's 10,000 solar companies that are out there. So when we
10,001 now,
10,000,
right? Yeah. So when we started to see that we had 2 separate sales teams, which is never, in the same vicinity at the same time is not a good idea. But we started seeing that like few over here were outproducing the many and the masses over here with just a different pitch at the door. And the most valuable time with your customer, the most valuable thing that you can have in the industry is sitting in front of your customer and having an opportunity. So it didn't really matter, not to be a bait and switch, but with honesty, how can we take the same opportunity that we have, and then once we're sitting in front of the homeowner, give them a menu of options, because people want to have options at the end of the day. The more value you bring, the more excited and the more trustworthy that your company is. And so, especially when you're representing top brands like LG, Panasonic, GAF, the company that invented the shingle 200 years ago. So those are good things for the customer to be able to have at their disposal.
Owens Corning involved in that?
No.
They're the insulation world.
So GAF, fun fact, actually, GAF is the company that invented the asphalt shingle. And GAF has a program called Master Elite. You go to Door to Door Con or Win the Storm or Solar Con, you're going to see few and far between some guys that have GAF shirts on. And the reason that they do that is because it's kind of like anything else. You pay for what you get for. They're like the high scale item in the industry because they don't just put a roof on as far as the materials go. They put a whole system on. So they're constantly revolutionizing the standard of like what material looks like in the roofing industry. And the cool thing about our construction company is we're not just any construction company. We have an exclusive deal with GAF, and we're top 2% in the nation as far as roofing contractors go. So when we sit down and we say, hey, we're a master elite contractor, that means GAF has handpicked us so that as opposed to going to Owens Corning, where they're going to give you a 25-year manufacturing, maybe 2 years on workmanship, we're going to warrant every single bottom line number for 25 to 50 years for you. And you're going to have,
so you can tell he's the sales dude.
Yeah, that's why I bring this guy.
Undebatably, you're going to get the best in the industry.
Exactly.
And instead of having to pay for it, you can walk off the lot with a Prius price using solar financing rather than paying the Lexus price. You know what I mean?
Not really, but I'll pretend I do. Sure, I get it.
We can touch back on it.
How many personal sales did you do last year in solar?
How many personal did I do? I don't even know. A lot.
You don't know?
It's kind of transitioned for me last year because I was like kind of leading the troops from the front for the last 5 years.
Not this solar, year, I'm sorry, roofing.
Oh, how many roofing deals did we do?
Did you personally do?
I have no clue, man.
Because you're the sales guru, no?
Mm-hmm. So I was kind of like the catalyst that, my partners put me in that position because of just, what I'm good at. They put me in the position to go out and kind of pioneer the program, if you will, because we were transitioning. We're like, okay, this solar thing, it's like working. This roofing thing, it's working really well, but they could both be working really great if it was all hands on deck in the middle. And so I think I don't even know, it was probably August, we got to the point where it was like, okay, well, what if you went into the house and instead of this guy who sells a roof, you as a solar guy went in the house and you could talk the roofing jargon. And then whenever you ask them to pay the deductible or the warranty price, what if you just added it into the solar system and they didn't have to pay for anything up front? And last week they got a contractor quoting them $18,000. And this month they're getting us and we're saying, we're just going to lower your utility bill and get the same thing and own your power. And the clients are like, wait, what? So to put a number on it, I have no clue.
How old are you?
23.
Young buck too.
So
how old are you?
I'm just about 42.
And how did you guys meet again?
So I had one of my other businesses. We were e-commerce management. I had a pretty cool warehouse. These guys showed up one day through a mutual connection.
When you say these guys,
so him and
funny story.
about 50 of his
50?
About 50 of his life insurance agents showed up. They loved the spot and they made a home there. And that's kind of how that relationship started. This kid, I saw it immediately with, that he was a very sharp salesman, but everything else in his life was chaos. And that's kind of how our relationship started. It's like, I kind of took that mentor program or position with him and kind of helped him just level things out so that he can create some amazing results that he's created. And now, he's a partner in 3 different companies that are, doing very well.
Slick.
Yeah.
You're on your way, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you saw him, you recognized, hey, this dude's smooth, slick.
I recognized the talent. They came into my office immediately and the way he, especially 20 years old at that time, how he ran his team, the training that he was doing, everything that he was doing, I was just like, this kid's different. Like, this is different, and he's a special kid. But as I got to know him, like I said, he was making a lot of money, and he was blowing a lot of money. He was burning a lot of relationships. And
how much were you making?
Like $40,000 to $60,000 a month.
It's pretty good for 20 years old.
It was good.
What do your parents make?
Not a lot.
So did they shit their trousers?
They're proud. They're some of the wealthiest people I've ever met without money, but they're incredible people. They're my superheroes, but, and him,
But did they shit their pants?
No, I think they've been telling me since I was a kid that I was going to do certain special things, and they've always believed in me. So I was lucky. I had great parents.
Well, if they're telling you you're going to do special things, dude, number one, okay, they kind of caused it.
And yeah, exactly.
You should thank them a lot because most parents aren't telling their kids that.
Right. And that's that's the only goal. Like, it's everything else is going to be a byproduct.
My parents told me I'm going to end up in jail.
Yeah.
I heard similar.
Yeah.
His parents said you're going to do magical things, Daniel.
And it
Daniel, you're going to do magical things in this world.
And it wasn't rainbows and butterflies. Like, we didn't get there was nothing special about my childhood. In fact, it was like the opposite.
Did your mom hug you a lot?
Yeah.
See, mine didn't.
Mine didn't either.
My mom hugged me a lot, but my dad didn't.
Yeah. And that's what I was telling you earlier. Like, financially, we weren't able to do much growing up. There was never really any opportunity to, outside of just taking care of the family, which is what my dad was always able to do. And so I always just had that. I had that drive in me because I'm the youngest of four, and I just always had that drive that it was like, my parents are amazing people, and like they're so successful in all these different ways, but why can't they ever show it? Like, why can't they ever enjoy it? Like, why, they're in their mid 50s, late 50s right now, and they're still breaking their backs every single day to provide for their family. And
why don't you tell them to come sell roofing?
Right? Exactly. So
put them on the team.
They've got their own thing going on that in the last 2 years, they started doing some cool things. So I'm proud of them, and I know they're proud of me too, but
that's good. And then the 50 people, they're young like you.
Yeah. They're all young.
Where'd you find all those people?
Dropouts, outcasts, Instagram, people just that wanted to make a difference in their life. I mean, the thing is like, it's all attraction marketing. So showing them the dinner, showing them the watches, the cars, the things like that, the paychecks. And then like, it is kind of a bait and switch because they come in for the money, and then you really keep them for the lifestyle, and not really the lifestyle, but changing their personal development long-term is what, once they get there, it's like, okay, well, you want it. So this is the only way you're going to get it. And it looks like it's so easy and it looks like it's so fast, but it's a full skill set. It's a full mindset that you have to develop.
Yep.
And so that's how. A lot of them were dropouts. A lot of them were just people on Instagram that were in a similar industry and weren't doing super well. They weren't really like taken care of by their current opportunity. So it was just like, hey, come over with me. I mean, at the end of the day, I hope I can help you. And if we can't, then we can shake hands and be friends.
So you were selling life insurance before the roofs.
Mm-hmm.
Did all those 50 people just say, screw it, I'm selling roofs too?
None of those 50 people were with me before. I've had 50 people and 50 people and 50 people. I had a lot of learning that I had to do. Burnt a lot of bridges, a lot of relationships that.
Most of them went to solar with us in California, and then.
But you're not in solar.
I was talking about
After
the first time.
You're in roofing.
Correct. Well, at first we were in solar, and then we came back to Arizona and partnered with our now partner who was in roofing.
And then realized how to sell more solar than you were selling before.
Exactly.
So that's the discovery.
Yeah.
So you were selling solar and you're getting teeth kicked in some cases because the market's getting that way, you said. And then
saturated.
Yeah. And then you went and worked with a roofer, and then you thought, well, shit, dude, I'm here in the house. Now I might as well sell solar. And you started saying, screw it, we can sell solar on top of roofs.
Yeah.
Well, how come everyone listening won't do that?
I mean, they should. I mean, we've had a few people, just doing straight solar, selling 2-3 a month, come over in our program, immediately start selling 12 to 15 a month.
Just because their defenses are lower?
Exactly. Defenses are lower. And then, by the time you get in the house, these people love you because you just helped them get a new roof and with nothing out of pocket other than the deductible. But then you roll the deductible into the solar finance.
It's not the scary sale. I mean, it's not even scary. It's not the sales guy knocking on your door with commission breath. It's like, hey, we're here to help you with your guys' roof. I mean, I noticed that you guys had some roofing damage up there. Have you guys looked at getting that replaced? Oh yeah, we can't afford it. Have you guys looked into solar? Oh yeah, we can't afford it. Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. We're a licensed public adjusting company. What would you think if we could get that paid for you guys? And they're like, what? Are you serious? Never heard of that. And same thing with contractors.
How would you do that? Right. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah. Litigation.
My name's Daniel Giles. Should I take my shoes off or leave them on?
Exactly, baby. That's it. That's it right there.
Do you take your shoes off a lot?
If I ask them, I say, you guys want me to leave them on or take them off? And they usually say, leave them on. I say, your guys' floors are too nice, man. I got to take them off. Look at this beautiful floor, man.
Now, again, I keep hearing that when I hear people train in that industry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take my shoes off, and I wouldn't even ask.
It's situational, right?
I just walk in.
Me too.
It's situational.
I ain't asking you to take my damn shoes off. Should I take my shoes off or?
I guess
what if you ever take your shoes off and have a big toe sticking out of a sock?
Stinky feet.
No, but there was a time that when I was like 19, I used to never wear socks with Vans. And so they were like, can you please take your shoes off? And I was like sweating, man. I was like, oh, and lo and behold, man, it wasn't a good thing.
If someone said, can you take your shoes off before coming in the house? I'd say, perhaps I shouldn't come in at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds a little too pristine for me.
You're going to give up the commish?
No, I'd sell from the door.
From the door.
Yeah, okay. What do I need? What do I need to go in there for? I'm not measuring the roof from in there, am I?
No.
Okay.
I think it's just
what am I doing?
lowering the defenses versus
No, I'm
being
just
at the
messing,
door.
but I hate taking off my shoes. I probably would if I had to.
You touched on something earlier when you were asking, like, why is everybody in the industry not doing this? I mean, it's the same thing for life insurance and Medicare. They're commingled. They're literally the same license. You can sell them both. Why is everybody that's selling life insurance for the quick check up front not selling for the residual on the back end? Medicare is all residual. Life insurance is all up front. It's heavy loaded. So it's the same thing. It's just like the education, there's a big barrier in the middle right there. And I think eventually people are going to understand that they can't do one without the other. And when we were talking about compressing timeframes in this industry, it's not just for us to make an exit out of the industry. It's okay, well, there's so many contractors, so many people, so many clients out there that what if we just added this one thing in there that the 40% of their company that they can't afford the deductible, they can't afford the retail roof, they just had this one other option that's an outside source or a third party source that completely changes the whole situation for the customer. And so for us, it was like, okay, if we can just develop that education and we can be competent in it and then create some confidence down the road, we can be killers in both of them and run them side by side. And before you knew it, both of them were fully churning and other people were starting to see it. And other contractors were like, hey, I've never even heard of what a public adjuster can do. Usually we're fighting them from the insurance company because the insurance company has an adjuster. And we're like, no. We're actually a first responder. A public adjuster is a first responder. So our job is to represent not the customer, not the house, but the policy.
Are you a public adjuster?
No. So we have an adjusting firm, and that's going to be office people. And then we have canvassers that we teach how to identify the damage.
And they just work under the license. But I think to what you're saying, I think the answer is education. Just nobody knows about it. So like he was saying, literally simultaneously
you guys should put together a course.
So right now we literally have an event going on in Scottsdale and we have 60 contractors in there. So we're starting to push this education out to them and that as well. I agree. I mean, there should be a course for that and getting that out there.
Next, people are going to be like, dude, you sell 15 times what we do, hitting the same doors. Well, that's a huge
with a fraction of the people.
Yeah. Well, that's because again, how you've discovered a back door or a better way in.
Yeah.
So like if I'm in solar, like I don't want to be a roofer. I've heard that a million times. And I've heard roofers say, we don't want to sell solar. It's like idiots. If you both sold each other's shit, you'd make a lot of money.
Right.
Like, dude, listen, and you already hit it on the head in the green room. I was going to start something called Real Home, not Real Solar, not Real Roofing, Real Home, which is following kind of what you guys were saying in there, which is we're a home solution specialist.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like we're not there to sell you solar or a door or windows or a garage or a water heater or landscaping. We're there to figure out what do you need to improve your home.
Exactly.
And it could be all of those things and it could be none of those things. I brought my ladder. You want me to take a look on the roof? You want me to get up underneath this bitch? You ever look at the joists and the trusses and see if they're sturdy? You ever get a checkup on your home? You been in the basement in a while? You been under the foundation or no? People say, no.
Yeah,
Who goes under there?
No, nobody.
Yeah, but guess what? You could have problems under there. We're going to check that out. We're going to check it. We're going to give you a whole home inspection for free.
Amen.
Yep. And all we're going to do is roll around and be like, look like they need a new chimney.
Sounds like we got a new canvasser. We got a new canvasser.
Looks like looks like, hey, you ain't got a pool back here? I would be amazed why you don't have a pool back here.
Yeah.
Geez, if I could get you a pool included in the solar deal, would you?
And a 30% tax credit on the whole thing plus your roof. Man, the roof is basically free at this point. By the way, think about that. You get a $60,000 loan and a $20,000 roof. 25% of the loan is now a roof. You get that tax credit applied, you're getting the roof for free.
Free roofs.
Free roofs.
Free roofs. We're giving out free roofs, man.
I was going to tell everybody that. I started a whole business on that, but it went over everybody's head.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Because it's a roof. Get it? I didn't. I was supposed to be a joke.
I was like, okay, well, I can imagine. I mean, it goes over a lot of people's heads.
You hear the joke about the roofer? Nah, it's over your head.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it sounds like, I don't know why you guys would even come up here and do a podcast. I'd be working. It sounds like it's money hand over fist.
We got people out in the streets working right now.
Right this second? In what areas?
All of it.
All over Arizona.
What's the other state?
So we're just about to open Utah. We already got a manager up there. We're just building out the team, recruiting the team. We're going to start opening up slowly in Utah. California, Texas.
Why slowly?
We just want to make sure we're prepared for it on the operations side and make sure they can handle the volume, because there's a lot of people, because of our position with GAF as a master elite roofer, they're putting us in position to go speak at some of their events and, in front of 300 contractors at a time. So it could be a big influx. We don't want to break the system. So we're shoring that up and making sure we're ready to rock and roll.
Nice. So what's after that? You guys looking to exit it?
Scale to sell, man.
Scale to sell, he said.
Scale to sell.
So how do you scale the company?
I mean, we keep doing what we're doing. We don't fully want to depend on, the canvassing side forever. We're working on some marketing stuff and generating leads and things like that. Doing some virtual sales as well. I mean, we're going at every angle to build this thing up. We have a couple opportunities with some installers that want to give us equity as well to help them build up their sales side of it. They're good at the install, but they're not good at the sales side. So a couple different options right now, but either way, we're just scaling, building this thing up. And, hopefully, look, solar roofing, I don't see going anywhere for a long time, but solar, I don't think is going to be as hot as it is right now for forever. So, it's an opportunity to capitalize on it. And that's,
it'll be a while though.
That's
sure why I keep telling people, like, if you're not in solar, you better, like, if you're a salesperson type, like me, if I wasn't me, now, if I were just my old me, which was just a sales pro, rocking around, mercenary, whoever paid the most, wherever I could make the most, my dumb ass thought it was the car business.
Contract killer, baby.
Yeah, but for the longest time, I thought the car business, that's the only place you can make all this money. I had no idea they were people crushing it in other industries. But
Andy was crushing it.
So again, if I'd have known about roofing, I would have been roofing. Now, if I'm out in solar right now and I'm crushing it, what your guys are saying still makes sense. Like I'd be like, I need to become a public adjuster. So if I go get my public adjuster's license, which anyone can do, if I assume, right?
Sure.
But now I can't be a solar guy. It doesn't make any sense. Like I can't be a public adjuster and a solar guy.
That's why
I want to be able to walk up to the door and be like, Bradley, what's up? I can claim that. I know exactly what to talk about. I can completely talk about this and that and the other thing. And by the way, you need this, that, and the other thing. And a pool if I can get you one. Like that's the public adjuster, but that's not what you guys do.
No, unfortunately. I mean, we can't do that in all states.
So the canvasser knocks on the door and what do they say?
So if you're a canvasser and you're knocking on the door for solar,
let's pretend I'm the buyer. I'm the homeowner. I answer the door. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I noticed that you guys had some damage up on your roof. I'll get to the gist of the script, but we noticed that there's some damage up on your guys' roof. We've noticed some storms that are in the area recently have caused some shingles to fall off your guys' roof. I'm sure you guys have noticed the damage in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I see it driving up every day. Goddamn embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you guys have
been
had a
meaning
couple
to get it fixed.
Exactly, right? That's why we're here. So I'm sure you guys have had a couple contractors knocking on your door.
More than likely.
Absolutely.
I don't answer it most times.
I noticed the contractor leaving your door whenever I pulled up. So I just thought, someone's already talking to you guys as a homeowner on replacing that roof. I wanted to make sure that you guys had the best representation before going through and buying a roof.
You ever get people say, no, we haven't. Do you say just kind of like this? Because again, I mean,
it changes on the situation, man.
I know, but if you were my salesman, like after a while, you kept talking, I'd be like, oh boy, I shouldn't answer the door because you got a lot to say right now.
Well, people are knocking on the door every single day, and so they never want to open the door to us ever. That's just how it goes.
Have you ever tested it simply?
Of course, yeah.
Like, dude, I'd probably go in at it simply. I'd knock on the door, bing, bing, bing. How you doing? What's up, dog? Hey, I got to take 2 seconds from your, I do roofs. I see yours needs fixing. You can get it for free. You can get it for free, right?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh,
actually,
my
how do I get that?
dude.
Yeah.
Thank me later. Mm-hmm. Can I come in? You want my shoes off or on?
Yeah.
Boom. I'm going to roll right in.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd have to do it first successfully to see if it works. But you're doing it successfully. So right now, people should just probably follow whatever he just said.
Yeah.
So then they say what?
So after I let you guys know about the roofing damage that you already knew about, I want to let you guys know about, our license. We're a licensed public adjuster. We're the largest in the state of Arizona.
Oh, you're saying we.
Adjust Pro Solutions is the largest.
We are. We are. You're not.
Just Pro Solutions.
Just Pro Solutions.
Okay. We are.
So we represent the largest public adjusting company in the state of Arizona.
Yeah, perfect.
And our job is to make sure that when you file that claim with your insurance on getting your guys' roof done. By the way, have you guys filed a claim yet?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, perfect.
I don't have insurance.
You don't have insurance? Okay, no worries. We have great, excellent options for that as well. By the way, when did you guys move into the house?
Oh, about 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Wow. Okay. So you guys have probably, thought about getting some new roof.
100%, dude. It was perfect timing. I can't even believe you're knocking on my door.
I wish customers would tell me that. Well,
dude, look at your roof. You should be embarrassed of that thing.
Exactly.
And
so
by the way, when
you
someone
have
knocks on the door and says, I noticed you have some roof damage. Like, I didn't notice that. Like, where are you looking? How'd you see that? What, are you up in a helicopter?
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of times
It's
you knock
above.
on someone's...
It's on the roof. How are you seeing it?
You knock on a lot from the curb, man.
Well, if you can see the shit from the curb, well, then they're embarrassed about it.
You'd be surprised. The granial loss is really, really hard to tell. And there's certain telltale signs, like in Arizona. I mean, anywhere in the country, they don't make 3-tab shingles anymore. The ones that look like this, not this. They don't manufacture them anymore. So your insurance company, they are liable to indemnify your roof. So if I knock on your door and I say, hey, I see that you guys have roof damage, and you say, well, I've only got one missing shingle, I'm just going to go tell my, Owens Corning to go and replace that shingle for me. They're going to give you a voucher. You go and pick it up from Lowe's, you install it yourself, put the nail in yourself. Whereas now it's a completely different, it's a completely different thing where we can say, by the way, your insurance policy says if you have one missing 3-tab shingle, your entire roof has to go and the insurance will cover it legally. Did you guys know that? And they say, whoa, we had no clue. And
Who would have a clue?
Yeah.
No one.
Unless you know
what you're doing, unless you're in the business.
And nobody is.
See, there's a lot of people right now. Listen, I want to start a call-in line. I'll tell people, do not call them for a roof. Call me for a roof. If you guys want a roof, call me. I'm going to start Real Roofing right on the air.
There you go.
And then I'll just slime them over to you guys for a little piece. Hey, but then you guys go do it. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
Because I ain't a roofer.
We have a few of those relationships.
Well, yeah, because I'm listening and I'm like, dude, if I'm a listener, like, dude, I didn't know that. I'll get a roof. Because if people can improve their home at no expense out of their pocket and the insurance will pay for it, does their insurance go up? Like, what's the downside?
No.
Then why wouldn't everybody do it?
They don't know.
Yeah, it's just education. People don't know. Legally, they can't raise their insurance. It's based off like zip codes. So if a storm hit a certain zip code and it hit real hard and everybody's filing claims, then that whole area is going to go up. But they can't single you out and raise your insurance because you filed a claim.
So you being so young, you're just going to keep making money and growing this puppy up. You're a partner now, so you're growing it, and one of these days, someone will be like, how'd you get so rich? You'll be like, I started a company way back in 2020. When did you guys start it?
Which one?
The one we're talking about.
So that was started before us. We became partners in that one. So
the solar side we brought.
Yeah. So solar, we started.
So the roofer was already out there doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
See, I know a couple roofers, and they don't do solar. And I keep looking at them like, why?
Yeah, I don't get it.
They said, we don't want to confuse them. And it's like, dude, you don't understand. What if I could get 1 million roofers to come in and talk?
Be game over.
If you break your arm and you break your wrist, are you going to the same doctor?
Probably.
You have the same solution, I
go to the emergency room if I broke my wrist and my elbow.
You're not going to go to the emergency room and then go to a doctor for your wrist, right?
No, I'm going to go to the emergency room.
Right, exactly, because they take care of everything in one. And so that's what customers want. They want that same experience, that if you're in my house and you have
but
that
that's not
menu
what
of
they
options,
get. They get, I'm just a plumber. I'm just a roofer. I just sell solar, which is stupid. You want to sell everything that home needs.
Yeah.
Through a public adjuster.
Yeah.
So you already got the business model down. I'm going to work.
Get the insurance.
I
and
wish
Uncle
I had
Sam to
more
pay
time
for
to
it.
do some shit because I'd probably look into that. I have a buddy of mine that's buying roofing companies right now for, let's say they're doing $600,000-$700,000 net. They're not that big, but they're, busy.
Yeah.
He'll go in and scale them to where they're doing, 6-7 million net, and then bring in a private equity group and sell it. Boom. Both walk away with 20-30 mil.
Smart.
And he's doing it just like they were doing in the HVAC industry.
Yeah.
And I think they're eventually going to do it in the solar industry as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right now, if you're in the solar game, you're in a gold rush, the new gold rush.
Yeah.
Roofer sounds like the old gold rush, but it's still,
not
involved.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
guys,
still, dude, you guys found a good way in.
Yeah. I mean, you got guys like Tommy Mello, A1 Garage.
Oh, yeah.
Buying up all the garage companies, just sold half his company. Just
Yeah, but
killing.
again, dude, if he's already in there for the garage, let me get up on the roof. Let me see what's your.
I got a feeling he probably will.
I think anyone listening to this is going to go, damn, how come we ain't been doing that? But a lot of them will just not even listen to what we're talking about and continue doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
You touched on something earlier when you were talking about, roofing's been around forever. I know we both had said that. So a lot of roofing companies right now, they're looking for their exit. It's a lot of older guys that have had the company.
Well, call me if you're looking for the exit, boys.
Right.
Call me.
Right. So a lot of people, like, they've had the company for 30 years. They know what they know. They're comfortable with what they have. They're cashing in. They're going to either hand it down to their son, they're going to sell it, or they're just going to let the business die out.
Let me have it first, folks.
Right.
Don't do that.
Exactly.
And so for us, it's like, you don't need to become a solar expert. You don't need to become an HVAC or insulation expert. You don't need to become a public adjuster. At the end of the day, we can walk in the same direction and run together and accomplish the same thing for your customer. Your client base is going to grow. You're going to be able to touch more parts of the market that you couldn't have before, not just because of the solar financing, but also because we have what's something that no one else in the industry is really doing, and educating the customer on their credit, fixing their credit so that when they don't qualify for all those things that we try to sell, within 30 to 90 days, whether it's a contractor or a solar company, our CRM goes bing, we send them back out, credit's fixed, and now they actually have some financial literacy that's been developed, not just on the solar, not just on the insulation and roofing and blah, 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 but we fix their credit for them.
You guys are a problem solver.
Professionally.
You guys are like neighborhood angels.
Neighborhood angels, superheroes, man.
You guys should call it angelic roofing.
Yep. Yeah,
I don't know
that'll
about
do
that.
it.
We'll think about
What's
that.
the name of
People
it?
would be like, wow, welcome in, guys.
We have Adjust Pro Solutions, America First Energy, and ProTech Contracting.
And what's the roofing company?
ProTech.
Who named that? The first guy?
Or yeah, part of
Why
it.
ProTech?
That's a great question. Good
pro
answer.
technician in the industry. You're just pro at the technicality.
My uncles used to roof when I was a kid, but I always thought roofing was climbing up and doing the bullshit. Like someone has to actually roof that thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was roofing, because a lot of people, I'm in roofing. You're in sales, bitch. You sell the roof.
Yeah.
You sell the job. The workers are roofers. You're not a roofer unless you're up there roofing.
Yeah.
Or is it roofing?
Roofing.
Is it a roof or a roof?
Depends which part of the country you're tuning in from.
What do you say?
Roof.
What do you say?
The only
Roof.
right way.
Like if you look over there and you see a roof on that house, it's not roof.
The roof over there. Look at that roof.
Look at the
I don't
roof
know, I'm
on
still
that.
roof.
Look at the roof on that house. That's how the house has a roof.
It's kind of like when you're in Minnesota.
How come
it's a-
buildings don't have roofs?
What do you mean? They still have roofs.
No, look at these buildings.
it does. It's
They
just
don't
a-
have roofs,
It's a foam roof. It's a flat roof.
but they don't have a roof.
It's still a roof.
Well, obviously, anything on top is a roof, technically. Like he's got a roof on his head right now. But my point is like you don't see traditional roofs on buildings, commercial buildings. Why?
That's a great question. I couldn't tell you.
I would assume because residentially, like the snow and the runoff, whereas commercially, like the taller the building, the less impact. So I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you.
As I fly into different cities, I always look down and see the buildings.
Yeah.
And I think, look at all that real estate that could be used for advertising that isn't.
Very true.
I'm like, maybe I walk into that building and say, who's the owner here? They say, well, I'm the owner. And I'll say, I notice you have nothing on your roof. Right?
Roof, on your roof.
And I don't know if you're in the flight path, and I could sell that billboard, because technically it's a billboard. I could sell that billboard to Viagra, if you like, and get you your mortgage paid, because they will pay to say, take Viagra to all the thousands of people that are landing at this airport every day.
I like that idea.
Huh?
Yeah. Do one better.
Who wants to start that for us?
There you go.
Why don't you guys partner
Watch out,
with
we're
me?
doing it.
We'll be 50-50. Me 50, y'all 50. Go get her done.
There you go.
There you go.
This guy's selling people.
Dude,
Hey,
what I love though is like deals like that. Because when I start businesses now, I'm not really doing the business. People are like, Brad, how do you run so many businesses? I don't.
Right.
I find operating partners. Like you do with a roofer. Like someone is already roofing and I want to get into roofing. Boom, there's my operating partner. Now I just give them the resources and the shit that I bring to the table.
Yeah.
And then boom, It scales, it grows, but I need the operator.
Yeah. I mean, I think I talked to you about that one time. You made it sound like it wasn't too difficult. I mean, you got a big network, but for us, that's the hardest part.
What part?
Finding good operators, like good, legitimate
Well, you got to talk to them.
Well, I agree, but it's sometimes you run into people blowing smoke and telling you.
Well, you got to sift through them. You got to kiss a few frogs to get to the prince.
And we've kissed them.
Now, what are you guys doing in Vegas after this?
Hanging out. Nothing.
You stay a while or no?
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah.
Rolling in, rolling out, or hanging out?
Hanging out for a little bit and probably rolling out tomorrow.
Now, you got a family?
I do.
You got a family?
I don't.
You got a big one like you. I got 8 kids.
I'm kind of
beat
like
me.
You know, I got my parents, and then he's like adopted family.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You beat me because
I
I got 7, but my wife's late. So call me in 30 days.
Oh,
She told me yesterday.
Wow.
wait, really?
Well, she told me yesterday. She said something about wish she would start her period, and I'm like,
Oh man.
I said, you haven't started your period? She goes, no. Usually it's right around the 1st, and I'm like, okay. She goes,
how would you feel about that happened right now?
cool.
Yeah.
No, I got you.
How many you got right now?
I need to do 9 to beat you though. 7.
You got, wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Damn, Skippy.
Congrats on that, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
When'd you start?
When I was 17.
17. I was 8. Well, I mean, technically, it happened when I was 17, but I had her when I was 18.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you live and you learn, don't you? How old did you say you were?
40, almost 42.
See, I'm 54.
Yeah.
In 12 years, you'll be my age today. And in 12 years, I'll be an old cranky dog. Dude, all I can tell people if they're getting old like that is remain active.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I'm telling you, I think when you see the old guys that can't move and they're barely moving, it's because they stopped moving.
Yep. That's
Like,
exactly
like when you get old, you cannot stop. You better stay active.
Yeah.
Stay running, stay pushing, stay using your body to where, like, you know, I can get up and run around just like he can. And believe it or not, I feel the same age. When I was 23, maybe let's say 25 just to be easier. When I was 25, dude, I still feel the same exact way.
Really?
Yeah.
You're lucky.
I know. I'm the one of the luckiest dude in the world.
I'm working on that.
But I feel the same as I did at 25.
Are you a lot healthier than you used to be?
Not necessarily.
Are you
Really?
doing anything special, or are you just
No.
just naturally how you feel?
No, I mean, but I didn't overdo it my whole life. Like all my buddies that were bodybuilders and shit, they're all broke down now. They all have joint pain and knee pain and hip pain. Yeah.
I was a big guy in my 20s and 30s.
Yeah. So you were busting your ass. You were killing your body.
And I'm broken.
And I wasn't. I was freaking sitting back, laying back, just in the cut going, you know, I understand a little exercise, but that much, damn. And then my buddies were like freaking just doing whatever they needed to do. They're all tore up. My sports buddies, you know, they got banged up. They're tore up. I didn't necessarily get tore up. Yeah. I think that's why. But I did stay active.
Is that your advice?
Huh?
Is that your advice right there?
Well, again, to a youngster like you, if I were going to give you advice, I would say, number 1, think bigger. You think you're thinking big, dude. You ain't thinking very big. You better think bigger. Yep. Even bigger. I would say think bigger. I would say read every day. Like start reading pages of a book every single day. And when you're done, get another book. Mm-hmm. And then I would say, don't worry about everybody else's opinion so much.
Yep.
Those are the 3 things. Like if I could go back, talk to myself, that's what I would have done. If I could, even reading a book every day, like I didn't read till about 5-6 years ago.
What authors would you recommend?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of them, but you want to, just Google self-help and see what's the most popular and start there. But like,
I meant what jives with Brad Lee.
Well, again, like
what
the 4 Agreements, for example, which is Don Miguel Ruiz. He has a whole series of books, but I would go with the 4 Agreements. I would go with As a Man Thinketh. I would go with Think and Grow Rich. I would go with How to Win Friends and Influence People. I would go with the 48 Laws of Power.
That's a good one.
I would go with
you just sent me that one yesterday.
Yeah, I get my freaking phone and show you hundreds of them because now, dude, I'm always looking at books. When someone says, "Hey, I got a book," where is it? Boom, I want it. Why? Because, dude, I want that information.
Yeah, you're gonna lay up on me.
So at 51, right?
54.
54. So at 54, do you feel like you still have the same drive that you always had to learn and grow and get better?
No, I think it's stronger than before.
Stronger than before.
Yeah, like I never had that drive.
All right.
Which is why I'm 54 and not a billionaire yet. I should have been a billionaire already.
All right.
Does that piss you off?
No.
No?
No.
No.
Because, I mean, I still do quite well. But it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't stress like that. Like, I'm one of those dudes that, I have an abundance mindset. So to me, like when I take money that people would be like, damn, I can't believe you spent all that. Well, I mean, there's more, isn't there? Like, dude, you're going to get more money even if you were fired and your whole business took a shit and you guys crashed. Dude, you're going to make more money. It just won't be doing what you're doing. I know, but dude, you'll make more money. And I just know that. I know that I'll make more money. Just like, females back in the day, if I broke up with a female, I thought, oh, my life was over. Oh my God, my life's going to be ruined. I got to get her back. I love her. No one's going to love, stupid. I didn't know another one was coming right around the corner. And guess what? That one's even better. And then the next one's even better. And then the next one's even better. I worried about this one, which, you don't worry about them.
It's the biggest lesson I'm learning in my life right now. Cause I mean, everything is so monetary and right now and, get rich quick and things like that. And when I met him, it was like, dude, like build the foundation that you can always fall back on. You can always restart. You can always, get a new group, get a new company, get new things. But like, who are you fundamentally that you always have to fall back on? And I think that's, you say that and it's easy to say it and hear it and things like that. But I didn't really like know it and understand it really. Cause I could talk it and say those lines, but it wasn't until I met him that I was like, okay.
Well, that's because he's your old sage.
Right, exactly. And so you have to like experience that to know that.
Uncle Rio.
You're in my position and it's like you're losing everything and it's like, the world's burning and it's ending. And so that's why
it isn't. But just also don't forget, dude, just because you're 23 don't mean shit.
Yeah.
You could die.
Sure.
You could die at 24.
Absolutely.
You could die at 25. You could die at 26. Like, you hope to be an old man someday. A lot of times people are like, damn, dude, I'd hate to be that old. Quit telling the universe that, dipshit. Like you should be saying, I hope to be that old. I can't wait to be. When I see the 98-year-olds, I'm like, dude, I hope I make it to 98. I want to be 98 years old.
Yeah.
Most people are like, why would you want to be 98 years old? Because I'm 98 years old. Like, that means I made it that whole time.
I would have told him, look at me right now. I'm going to be great when I'm 98, not like that prune over there.
When I was 23, dude, I was a moron. I was running around jacking off. I wasn't making freaking 20 to 40 grand a month. That's for damn sure. But I was making good 10, 15, which was a lot.
Yeah.
When I was 20, that was 34 years ago. I was making good money for a 20-year-old. But it wasn't that much, like 15 grand, 20 grand a month. And then as I got older, I got up to like 500,000 or 600,000. That was about it. Could never get real money until I stopped trying to get real money. And I was worried about me. And then I started.
Bomb button right there.
Yeah, but I started trying to help other people on accident. I wouldn't even intentionally, I'm going to try this and see if that gets me rich. I just did something. I'm like, I'm going to try that. I'm going to go do this. And my reasons changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to want to get rich so I can get rich. And now I don't want to get rich. I just want to help these people. Then I got rich. So that's what you got to do. You got to, look to solve problems and help other people.
Yeah, 100%.
But anyway, good luck with you guys. I'm proud of you, son. Uncle Rio's proud of you. Just keep going. Wear condoms. Don't get them all knocked up. Don't be a sucker either. Okay. According to Andrew Tate, you're a high value man. You know what that means? Stay high value. I was asked on a podcast earlier because Andrew Tate supposedly said, you can cheat. I never heard him say that, but these guys claimed that he did. And I said, well, I don't think you should. And they said, well, what if you're a high value man and you cheat? And I said, if you cheat, you're not a high value man.
It's counterintuitive.
Dude, it's exactly right. You cannot cheat and be a high value man. Remember that, folks. And until next time. Oh, actually, if you guys want to find these guys at Rio Osorio, Osorio. And then Daniel is the Daniel Giles. If you guys want to do biz with them, where do they find you? Just hit you up on Instagram?
Hit us up on Instagram, man. We're there.
Yeah, if you're a roofer or you're in solar and you want to get some help, get some scale, join forces.
Official.army or official.alpha.army as well.
Official.alpha.army. Yeah. Appreciate you guys coming in.
Appreciate it, man.
Folks, as always, till next time, keep it real. If you want to get something different, you have to do something different. In order to do something different, you have to believe something different, because the reason you do what you do is because you believe what you believe. Whatever you believe for whatever reason you believe it. Doesn't even have to be true, but your belief system, what you believe, is what causes your actions and your choices and your behaviors.